best-natured person in the world. My mother was different. My mother was harder. She was gentle with us, but not with other people. But my father was good to everybody, very kind and very compassionate. You know, Philip was in everything. He wanted to play the violin, so he joined the symphony. He likes a tuba too, but he did it so he would be in the band, so he could go to all the football games and all the things. That's why he played it. So he went to all the football games. He went to all the symphony. He went all over. He was a wonderful son. He took my mother everywhere. My father was working very hard, so we rarely saw him. The only time we got to see my father, because he worked at night and would come home during the day, is when it was Passover, and then we would all take a trip in the car. We had an old Nash, and Alex drove. Philip was so quiet. He was the best student. He participated in everything. He had straight A's. He was brilliant, even in high school. And he was very well liked. He had kooky friends. He picked offbeat friends, and that was amazing. He knew he wanted to be an engineer, just like his brother. They always had like a workbench, and they worked together. Philip invented a photo enlarger, and Alex and he worked at it, and it was one of these things where they mail ordered it, and they advertised in a magazine, and they were bombarded, and it cost like $10, you know, for anybody who wanted this enlarger. This is when they were in high school, and that's what they did. They would mail these things out, and we'd get letters from all over the world of people who read this photo magazine. Philip was socially smart too. You know, I mean, I told you, violin, the tuba. He had a choice of going to, because he knew he was going to engineering, he had a chance of going to Lehigh, which was a very good school, Michigan, or MIT. He picked Michigan because the tuition was a little less. It was like $50 less. He went off to school, and he came home, I guess, like once a year. But at Passover, we would drive there and see him. And we would fill the car with hard-boiled eggs and chicken and go. My mother used to get an envelope and a piece of paper, and every week send them money. Every week. And that came before we ate, before anything else. Because there were two boys in college at the same time. And that was the most important thing to my family, was education. Now, the first month Philip was in school, he wrote home and he said he needed a Harris tweed jacket with leather elbows. I mean, we couldn't afford anything, but my mother sent him the money because it was what Philip wanted.
Anti-Semitism was still rife in the workplace, and when Dad's brother Alex graduated college, he had difficulty finding a job. Ruthie recalls Alex's job search.
When he left college, he couldn't get a job because he was Jewish. When they heard his name Rosenblum and they knew he was Jewish, they said, "We do not hire Jews." So he tried every company there was. He couldn't get a job. So he worked as a surveyor. After that, he got a job at Fort Monmouth as an engineer because it opened up to everybody at that point. It was a government job.
And when Dad graduated Michigan in 1940, he followed his brother to Fort Monmouth.
And Alex was already an engineer at Fort Monmouth and had a very good position there. Mm-hmm. So he said to Philip, "Come here, because, you know, this is the place."
But before long, the United States entered World War II, and duty called. Dad served for almost 4 years in the Air Force. He was posted first in the U.S. and then in post-war Germany. He was eventually promoted to captain. This is a telegram from Dad to his parents telling them that he was coming home. And after the war, Dad settled into life in New Jersey.
We take our vacations together, Philip and I, and we go horseback riding. And everybody would flock over to Philip. I would ride, but Philip would jump. I had a lot of friends because all these girls wanted to get close to me because of my brother.
Dad continued to work at Fort Monmouth, but he wanted to resume his studies and was accepted at one of the best engineering faculties in the country, Caltech in Pasadena, California.
It was a big thing because Caltech was like the Rolls Royce, and that's where he went for his master's. He loved California. That's why eventually he decided to go back there, because he really liked it. Philip was the one who was the golden boy. And he was. We all felt that same way.